is Shanford Skill, and I'm bringing a video, finally, deck profile of the Revengers deck that I'm playing, and it's been pretty busy lately. I just finished most of my presentations and some of my exams, and there's still a few more, but I thought I might take a little break and do some stuff, and also do some announcements and whatnot. But for now, let's just go straight on to the deck profile. I haven't made a video in so long, like on a camera, that I almost forgot like how to set this thing up, like the camera stand. Anyway, so Revenger, you are Cloudus, yes, Revenger Cloudus. The starting Vanguard. You move into Soul, Counterblast 1. If you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard, you can call Blaster Dark into an open circle. So you Soul Charge it, and then you call Blaster Dark Revenger, and it's really good. Essentially, it just changes itself for Blaster Dark for free if you have Doran in the sides, so it's pretty good. So some people play the goat, which looks for grade 3. I like consistency, so I played this instead. So play this. Pretty standard 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal, which is, you know, standard for most decks. For grade 1s, I'm playing 4 Perfect Guard. This deck has a lot of card advantage, not really hand advantage though, but then it kind of translates to the same thing, because if you don't need to play cards like from your hand, then you get extra cards in hand to use Perfect Guards. So definitely would play 4, and especially with Transcendence running around, you'd never know how useful your 10k shields are. So 4 Perfect Guards. For Doran, Doran is pretty amazing. A 7k, whenever Blaster Dark Revenger enters the same column as Doran, then you can unflip 1 Counterblast, essentially making Blaster Dark's effect cost Counterblast 1. And for those people who don't know, you can do it either way, and I'll explain that a bit later. 3 level 1 Masquerade, when it attacks Vanguard, plus 3k, pretty standard. Revengers has a really cookie cutter style deck, so yeah, and this is the only place where you have some variation. I played 2 Charon, because if you have it behind this, you go 21. It's not bad, but the problem with that is that you can't eat this with Raging Form, so that's the only downside to it. But overall, it's not bad, because if you have this, and then you can do the thing where you put power back onto your Charon and not boost with it if you have Raging Form, and then you can do cool stuff. But I guess I'll explain that later. For grade 2s, I'm playing 3 Tartu. It's basically, what's that? Is Matcha, right? I think the original was Matcha. It's like Matcha 2.0. When you play it, Counterblast 2, call a Revenger, put it in the back row behind this unit, and then it's 9k, so it's 1,000 stronger than Matcha, but technically it's the same, because before you can call Charon, but now you can call other things that are 7k, and it still adds up to 16. But it provides a lot more utility than Matcha used to, because of all the good grade 1s that you have. So there's that. 4 Masquerade, pretty standard, 12k attackers. If you have them, use them. And of course the 4 Blaster Dark Revenger, so very good card. When it comes into play, Counterblast 2, destroy a unit in the front row. I think it might be level gated, isn't it? No, it's just a unit, I'm pretty sure. Unit in the front row. So the way that works is that if you have Doran on the side, and you have like 2 Counterblasts like this, or like 3, like this, right? So this is your damage. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then you play this. You can choose to unflip first, and then Counterblast it. Or say if you have like all open Counterblast, you can play this, Counterblast 2, pop something, and then unflip. So no matter what point in the game you're in, you can always unflip your damage, because you can choose which way to resolve it. You can choose to use this first and then this second, so it all works out. Very good card. I mean, this is probably one of the main reasons why I want to play this deck, is because you get such easy pluses with Counterblast 1 and get a plus. So, and grade 3s, 4 Mordred Phantom, 4 Raging Form, both very powerful grade 3s. Mordred Phantom is probably one of the best break rides in the game, because it's a plus. It gives 5k to a unit, so whatever you call, especially against Link Joker, where if your front row dies and then the card in the back is locked, for whatever reason, I mean, it happens, then you can, or even if you just are short on cards, you can break ride Mordred Phantom, call this, plus 5k, attacks for 17 by itself. so it's very powerful. 10k to your Vanguard, and that's all it really does. So you break ride, plus 10k to Vanguard, call a unit from your deck, plus 5k to it, counterblast 1. So, very powerful card. It's, I don't know, if there was a better grade 3 in Shadow Paladins, I probably wouldn't use it, because, not because it's not a good card, it's because I'm really bad at break riding, and normally, if, I just never draw this, I always draw, Raging Form first, and I just never get to break ride, so, yeah, I'm really bad with break riding for some reason. And then, Raging Form Dragon, the one and only, counterblast 1, when this unit declares an attack, you may pay the cost. If you do, plus 3,000. So this effect actually comes up very often, where you have even like this, and then you attack, counterblast 1 plus 3k. And lots of cool things happen with these kind of things. So, the second ability, of course, this is the second ability. For those of you who don't know what Raging Form does, at the end of an attack step, regardless if you hit or not, if you have, you can reveal 1 copy of Raging Form Dragon from your hand, retire 3 Revenger's Vanguards, and ride it on top of your Vanguard in stand. So it basically restands your Vanguard from your hand, and then plus 10k. Now, there's a lot of talk about how it's really OP, and it doesn't cost counterblast, it only costs creatures like units. But the downside to this effect is that, one, you need to have, the obvious reason, you have to have a copy of it in your hand, which is not too much of a downside. But the second reason is that you can't put triggers back onto your Vanguard. So say you attack with this, crit power, you rewrite it, the crit power is gone, so that's kind of a downside. But overall, I think Raging Form is probably one of the best restanding Vanguards because it's unconditional, so you can do it whenever you want to. If you have the, like, it doesn't matter if you hit or not. Like if, for example, the end needs to be on hit and Descendant needs to be not on hit and whatnot, so it doesn't have that restriction to it. The only restriction it has is that you have to have a copy of it in your hand and 3 cards on your field. And so what I meant before about using Charon was like something like this. Let's see, let's get a typical Revenger field going on here. It's something like this. See that, right? There's a bit of glare on the Charon, but you guys should be able to see it. So what you can do is actually, this only works well if you break ride. So say you break ride, but if you don't, it's fine. But here, I'll explain how it works. You can go like this. You mainly do this if you're missing a unit, but if you want to be fancy, you can. This is actually better, in my opinion, to do it like this against a 13k Vanguard. So what you would do is that you attack with this row first, and then you attack with this row. Then you attack with this by itself, counterblast 1, so hit for 14, and then probably only do this if you're confident in restanding. And if you do it like this, there's a high chance your opponent will think you have it, so you can bluff them with this, because like, why would you attack like this and leave this unboosted if you're not planning on riding it again, right? So if you attack like this, you can, say you get a trigger, you can put it here. The only downside is that you can't transfer crits this way. You can only transfer power. So say like draw trigger power here, and then you rewrite it, restand plus 10k, and then you can attack with these two for however much. So it'd be like 21 plus 13 would be like 24. So it's situational. Sometimes you can do it. Sometimes like against Link Joker, I think. If you have something locked like this, you could definitely do it like that. Like if you have something in the front locked against Chaos Breaker, after like their initial like shenanigans where they break ride and draw 3 cards, if you have something like this and you just play like this, you can attack, and like you don't have to boost it, because if you do it this way, if this is locked and if you attack with this straight up, you have to kill these 3 guys and you get no value from him. So you just attack, like this is mainly against Link Joker, to be honest. You just attack like this, attack by himself, and then you eat these guys, put triggers on this, and then restand and attack again. So it's okay. I mean, especially if this gets locked later in the turn, then it's really whatever, because Raging Form doesn't really need a booster by himself, because he can restand no matter what. So that's my Revengers deck, I guess. Sorry I haven't been posting videos. It's been really busy with actual life and school life and I guess all these other stuff. During the winter break I'm probably going to do a lot more videos. It's not going to be about Vanguard per se, but there's a new game I've been playing online and it's a card game, but it's not your Vanguard style card game. It's actually Soulforge, if you guys have heard of it. I'm liking that game a lot because I can play wherever, because I just play it on my iPad when I'm like at school or like in class for whatever reason, and you know, so it's very convenient for me to play that game wherever. So yeah, challenge 10 will be there will be a challenge 10, but I'm gonna make it a new video. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.